Excuse me, can I get your help here, please?
Yes, of course can.
Bro, you gotta see this.
Dude, I've already got a minute. What's up? What is this?
Bro, I saw this message on the screen. It says that the account that was last logged in on this console got one of the fastest lap times in the UK. Dude, it was your account.
Wait, this is a joke.
No, it's a contest.
The film opens with a brief history of Gran Turismo, created 25 years ago by Kazunori Yamauchi to make motorsports accessible to everyone. His vision transformed into the world's most realistic racing simulator, captivating millions of players worldwide. In 2010, Cardiff, Wales, teenager Jan Mardenborough works a retail job, but his heart belongs to Gran Turismo. His bedroom is a testament to his obsession filled with game memorabilia, and he's thrilled to unbox a new racing wheel. His father, Steve, a former Cardiff City footballer, pushes him toward a football career, believing it's a more practical path. At a family dinner, Steve urges Jan to follow his footsteps, while his mother, Leslie, suggests studying automotive engineering. Jan, however, is resolute. He dreams of racing for real, even if it means starting with menial jobs like pit crew work. That evening, he sets up his new racing wheel and dives into a virtual race on the legendary 24 Hours of Le Mans track. With intense focus, he tweaks his car's settings, adjusting suspension, tire pressure, and aerodynamics, racing with such immersion that he feels like he's in the driver's seat, navigating corners with precision. In Tokyo, Danny Moore, a British marketing executive for Nissan, pitches a groundbreaking idea to the company's executives. He proposes leveraging Gran Turismo's hyper-realistic simulator, played by over 80 million people, to discover genuine racing talent. By offering the top player a professional racing contract, Nissan could inspire millions and boost its brand. The executives are intrigued but demand a certified, top-tier engineer to ensure the gamer's safety during training. Danny approaches Jack Salter, a former racer now working as a mechanic for the elite Kappa racing team. Alongside their arrogant star driver, Nicholas Kappa, Jack is skeptical, warning that real tracks are unforgiving, crashes are real, and there's no reset button. He initially declines, unconvinced that gamers can handle the physical and mental demands of professional racing. At a Kappa team dinner, Jack offers Nicholas constructive feedback on his driving, but the cocky driver snaps back, mocking Jack as a washed-up racer and reminding him that only the team leader gives advice. The table erupts in laughter, and the humiliation cuts deep. Frustrated and determined to prove himself, Jack quits Kappa on the spot and accepts Danny's offer to lead the Nissan GT Academy project. Back in Cardiff, Jan's routine is upended when his best friend calls with life-changing news. Jan's blistering lap times on Gran Turismo have earned him a spot in GT Academy. Rushing to the local game station where his account is linked, Jan logs in to find a video message from Danny, congratulating him for ranking among the fastest players globally. He's invited to a virtual qualifying race where winners will advance to real-world training at GT Academy for a chance to race professionally. That night, Jan throws himself into practice, experimenting with a daring overtaking technique, passing cars without touching the track's tire marks, a risky move that pays off in the simulator. His younger brother, Kobe, interrupts to invite him to a party at the pier, mentioning that Audrey, Jan's crush, will be there. Hesitant but smitten, Jan sneaks out through his bedroom window, borrows his dad's car, and heads to the party. At the pier, Jan and Audrey connect, sharing their dreams. She longs to visit New York, while he dreams of exploring Tokyo, the birthplace of Gran Turismo. On the drive home, with the others too drunk to drive, Jan takes the wheel. The group's rowdy behavior catches a police officer's attention, who pulls them over for reckless driving. Panicked and thinking like he's in a Gran Turismo escape mission, Jan floors it to avoid arrest. Desperate to make his qualifying race the next day, he evades the police but knows he's risked everything with his impulsive decision. The next morning, Jan helps Steve at the train station. Unimpressed by his son's racing ambitions, Steve calls them a childish fantasy, giving him an ultimatum: study or work hard labor like him. Hurt and defiant, Jan storms off to the game station for the virtual qualifying race. facing 19 of Europe's top Gran Turismo players, he starts dead last in a fiercely competitive field. Staying calm under pressure, Jan drives with surgical precision, overtaking rivals one by one. By the final lap, he's climbed to third place. With a perfectly executed push, he surges past the top two, crossing the finish line first in a stunning upset. His victory secures his spot at GT Academy, marking a pivotal step toward his dream. Steve remains apprehensive, warning that real racing is too dangerous for a gamer. Jan pleads his case, pulling out a childhood photo from a Ferrari exhibition Steve took him to years ago. He explains that moment ignited his passion for racing, a spark that's never faded. Moved by his son's conviction and sincerity, Steve reluctantly gives his blessing. Jan arrives at the GT Academy, held at England's prestigious Silverstone circuit, joining 9 other finalists from around the world. Only one will earn a contract to race for Nissan, making history as the first gamer-turned-professional racer. Jack, introduced as their head trainer alongside Nissan officials, lays out the stakes.
Racing. It takes strength, it takes tremendous will, intelligence, sensitivity. It's only a handful of people in the entire world who can do it at the level that you're going to be asked to do it. When you're in a race, the G-forces will be twice what an astronaut experiences upon liftoff. And it's under these conditions that you're going to be forced to make split-second decisions that could cost you your life. Or worse, you could kill someone else.
The training will be brutal, and he offers them a final chance to walk away. No one backs out, each determined to prove themselves in this unprecedented experiment. Training begins immediately, blending intense driving drills, physical conditioning, mental toughness exercises, and media preparation. While Gran Turismo's techniques, cornering, overtaking, finding the racing line, translate somewhat to real cars, the physical and emotional demands are exponentially higher. Jan struggles with public speaking during media training, his nerves betraying him compared to Matty, a confident rival who boasts he'll win the competition. Jack observes from a helicopter, barking instructions and pushing the trainees to their physical and mental limits. He announces that 5 racers will be eliminated based on their performance, with only the top 5 advancing to the final race. During a trial race, Jan attempts to overtake Matty but loses control, crashing into a tire barrier. Uninjured, he insists the brakes felt slippery and unresponsive. Jack replays the footage in a classroom session, criticizing Jan for either braking too late or being too scared to overtake, threatening to disqualify him. Jan stands his ground, explaining he braked correctly but sensed a mechanical issue. Mechanics confirm faulty brakes, validating Jan's claim. Impressed, Jack asks how he knew. Jan credits countless hours maintaining virtual cars in Gran Turismo, mastering every mechanical detail down to brake calibration. He argues the simulator's accuracy mirrors reality, a point Jack hadn't fully appreciated. This moment shifts Jack's perspective, and Jan avoids elimination. The final GT Academy race is a high-stakes 10-lap showdown at Silverstone. The winner will join Nissan's professional team and compete internationally. Jan starts aggressively, passing 2 cars on the first lap to claim third place. He holds the position for several laps, trailing Antonio in second and Matty in the lead. By lap 7, time is running out. Jan seizes an opportunity, slipping past Antonio with a clean move to take second. The final lap is electrifying. Jan and Matty are neck and neck, pushing their cars to the absolute limit. Jan takes a risky, unconventional line, one not found in any racing textbook, pulling alongside Matty. They cross the finish line so close that Jack, Danny, and Nissan executives crowd around a monitor to review slow-motion footage. Danny privately expresses concern to Jack, arguing that Jan's camera shyness could harm Nissan's marketing efforts, favoring the charismatic Matty. Jack counters firmly, a win is a win, whether by inches or milliseconds. He earned it. The replay confirms Jan's victory by a fraction of a second, crowning him GT Academy's champion. Overjoyed, Jan calls his mother, Leslie, to share the news, but Steve is at Kobe's football game and misses the moment. Jan, Jack, and Danny board a private jet to Austria, where Jan must earn his FIA racing license by finishing at least 4th in one of 7 European Series races. Jack warns that as the gamer guy, Jan will face hostility from rival racers and even his own pit crew, who view him as an outsider unqualified for professional racing. That night, as Jack sleeps, Danny confides in Jan, revealing that Jack was once a top US racer who mysteriously quit, though the reasons remain unclear. On race day in Austria, Jan follows his pre-race ritual, listening to soothing saxophone tracks by Kenny G to steady his nerve. Jack advises caution against 2 dangerous competitors, Nicholas, his former Kappa teammate, and Schulen from Audi. Jan starts in 8th place, but nerves cause him to drop to 10th. A nearby Ferrari begins smoking, catching Jan off guard, but Jack assures him via radio that such incidents are normal in real racing. Jan's pit crew mocks him during a refuel stop, calling him a gamer who doesn't belong. Undeterred, he climbs to 5th place, then overtakes Nicholas to reach 4th, 1 spot from securing his license. Nicholas, furious, rams Jan's car from behind, sending him spinning out to finish 27th. Jack praises his resilience, noting he has 6 more races to achieve the required 4th place finish. Jan places 23rd in Germany, 17th in Italy, 8th in Turkey, but crashes in Spain, leaving him with one final opportunity. The Dubai race is Jan's last shot to earn his FIA license. Nicholas plays dirty again, colliding with Jan and snapping his rearview mirror. Jan stays composed, overtaking Nicholas and Schulen in a tight corner with a clean, calculated move.
Hits the brakes, goes. See ya. Bye.
Jan holds 4th place through the final lap, crossing the finish line to secure his FIA license. After the race, Jan confronts Nicholas, warning him that such dangerous tactics could cost lives and must stop. That evening, Jack opens up to Jan, praising his rare, unteachable instincts. He reminisces about his own racing days, when time seemed to slow, demanding perfect precision in every move. When Jan asks about his favorite track, Jack names Le Mans, a grueling, legendary circuit where a podium finish means immortality in the racing world. Jack never achieved it, a regret that lingers. 2 excited fans approach Jan for autographs and selfies. Following Jack's advice to embrace his new life, Jan calls Audrey, inviting her to Tokyo for his official Nissan contract signing. At the ceremony, Kazunori Yamauchi, the creator of Gran Turismo, delivers a heartfelt speech about the game's impact before Jan signs the contract. He and Audrey spend a romantic day exploring Tokyo, visiting iconic sites and savoring the city he's always longed to see. The next challenge looms at Germany's Nurburgring, notorious as the deadliest track in motorsports for its sharp turns, elevation changes, and unforgiving terrain. Jan prepares with his classical music ritual, gifting Jack a sleek new music player to replace his outdated one, asking him to open it after the race. The Nurburgring race begins, with Jan's family watching anxiously from Cardiff. By lap 6, Jan pushes into 5th place, then passes Nicholas to take 2nd. Eager to catch the leading Ferrari, he accelerates into the treacherous Flugplatz section, where the track's incline often sends cars airborne. Misjudging his speed, Jan's car lifts off, spins violently, and crashes into the barriers. Jack, Danny, and the team in the pits are stunned, while his parents, watching the live broadcast, are gripped by panic. Jan is airlifted to a hospital. Upon waking, he immediately asks if anyone was hurt. Jack hesitantly reveals a devastating truth. A spectator died in the accident. Though the investigation confirms it wasn't Jan's fault, the news crushes him. Danny explains that the Flugplatz's nickname, the airfield, comes from frequent airborne incidents due to the track's design and wind conditions. Guilt-ridden, Jan asks to be alone. At a press conference, Danny expresses Nissan's heartfelt condolences to the spectator's family and announces a racing committee investigation to ensure such tragedies are prevented. Jan's mother calls, gently reminding him that the accident was beyond his control and could have happened to any racer. Jack visits Jan and takes him back to the Nurburgring crash site. There, he shares a deeply personal story. Years ago at Le Mans, Jack suffered a near-fatal crash, his car flipping 3 times and bursting into flames. Miraculously surviving, he was haunted by trauma, losing his nerve and choosing to quit racing. He tells Jan this to prevent him from making the same mistake, believing in his extraordinary talent and potential. Handing Jan his car keys, Jack asks him to complete a lap around the track to reclaim his courage and reignite his passion for racing. The Racing Commission clears Jan of fault, but Nicholas seizes the opportunity to stir controversy. He tweets a call to revoke Jan's license, launching a campaign against simulator drivers and questioning their place in professional racing. The tweet gains traction, with rival teams joining the chorus and pressuring Nissan to abandon GT Academy. Danny warns that only a podium finish, 3rd place or better, at the 24 Hours of Le Mans, the most prestigious endurance race in the world, can silence the critics and save the program. Jan teams up with GT Academy finalists Maddie and Antonio, who have built solid careers in lower-level races since their academy days. They'll drive the Ligier JSPX, a sleek, lightweight car faster than anything Jan has raced, including the Nissan GTR, offering their best shot at making history. At Le Mans, Jan is stunned when Steve appears in the pits. For the first time, Steve admits he was wrong to doubt Jan's dreams, having been consumed by his own fears about racing's dangers. Proud, he watches as Jan affixes Cardiff City Football Club stickers to his helmet, honoring his father's legacy. Leslie, Kobe, GT Academy friends, and Audrey cheer from the packed grandstands. The 24-hour endurance race begins at 3 p.m., with each team fielding 3 drivers who rotate every 3 hours to maintain the grueling pace across 24 hours. The race is chaotic from the start, with cars skidding on the crowded track. Jan, starting for Nissan, overtakes aggressively, closing in on Schulin, but a catastrophic crash unfolds ahead. A Ferrari collides with another car, triggering memories of Jan's Nurburgring accident. He freezes, losing focus and slipping from 5th to 10th place. Jack tries to reach him via radio, but Jan is unresponsive, haunted by the trauma. In a stroke of genius, Jack plays Jan's favorite classical music through the headset, calming his nerves. Refocused, Jan regains his rhythm, overtaking rivals with spectacular moves. Teaming seamlessly with Maddie and Antonio, the Nissan squad climbs the leaderboard, inching closer to the top as the hours pass. 9 hours into the race, heavy rain falls, forcing drivers to exercise extreme caution to avoid hydroplaning. At the 19-hour mark, Nissan holds 5th place, but a mechanic's error during a pit stop, fumbling a tire change, drops them 9th. Jan, drawing on his Gran Turismo experience with alternate, riskier racing lines, takes calculated risks that pay off. He rockets from 9th to 4th in record time, setting a new fastest lap for the circuit. With 1 lap remaining, he trails Nicholas in 3rd by 4 seconds. Determined to prove simulator racers belong in professional motorsports, Jan pushes his car to its absolute limits. In the final corner before the finish line, he executes a breathtaking overtake.
Don't try and kill it.
Come on, do your thing. Commit. Commit. Punch it. Come on.
This is absolutely phenomenal!
Come on.
He's going to do it! Come on!
Flooring the throttle to edge past Nicholas and claim 3rd place in a dramatic, heart-pounding finish. The Nissan team's podium finish electrifies the crowd, proving that gamers can compete at the highest level of motorsports. The grandstands erupt in cheers as Jan, Maddie, and Antonio stand proudly on the podium, their third-place finish a historic triumph. The victory silences Nicholas's campaign and secures GT Academy's future, validating Nissan's bold experiment. As the film draws to a close, real-life footage traces Jan Mardenbrough's remarkable journey from a Gran Turismo player in Cardiff to a third-place finisher at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. His success reshaped perceptions of motorsports, proving that simulator skills can translate to real-world racing. To date, Jan has competed in over 200 professional races, continuing to listen to classical music before each one to center himself. Remarkably, he also performed his own stunts in the film's high-octane racing scenes, bringing authenticity to his portrayal. Well, that's the end of this recap. If you enjoyed this movie, consider subscribing for more interesting stories. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.